So, this is a video on how to edit a video for the Newsstreak. First thing, obviously, you want to do is open up your editing software. I'm using a PC versus a Mac. There isn't much of a difference, honestly. So, this should be helpful either way. You'll want to open a new project or a new video, and we'll just call this one tutorial. And you have audio capture and video settings. If you know your camera really well, you'll want to change these. But I tend to, sometimes I use a different form of recording, not often, and I also don't know my camera that well, so just take the default settings and it's okay. Again, it'll ask you for all the different types of settings, and again, I don't know. You just hit okay for the default settings. And before you do anything, this should be here every time, but sometimes you may look over it. You always want to have a sequence, no matter what it's called, as long as it's any form of a sequence, because without one, you can't make a video. It won't export. You won't be able to copy videos. So just make sure that you have in your media browser or in your project viewer, you have a sequence. Okay, so to get your clips, mine are on my flash drive right here, and so I will just drag them on into my project viewer. Fairly simple. Okay, and once you've done that, you can just leave that. And you're not going to want to eject your flash drive or SD card, because if you do so, these files will be missing. It'll say media missing, and you won't have access to them. So the only way that you can eject your flash drive is if you save your videos to the hard drive or the desktop, and then it'll be able to find them and you can eject your device. Okay, so once you have your videos, you're going to want to look through them and see which parts you want. These are fairly simple videos and I'm fairly familiar with them, so I won't look through. I know what parts I want already for the purpose of the video, which is a tutorial. But usually I'll have an introduction, which I'll use Mr. Upton here, conducting, and to select which part of the entire video I want. All I want is this part. I don't want the rest down here or the very beginning. Let's say all I want is this part. I'll mark that by clicking the I key for in, and I'll go to the end and I'll click the O key for out. And then once I have that, I can drag it into my timeline. And this is where the settings, it kind of does it for you. If your settings haven't already been set or changed, you can click change sequence settings and it changes the settings to fit the type of video you have. So it really does it for you. And then let's say that's my intro and I want to move into my interview. I'll double click and select the part of my interview I want using the I and O keys, and I can just drag that down here. I'm just putting everything in order. Let's say I want different clips of, I don't want to just watch him talking the whole time, so maybe I'll have some other clips, which is called B-roll, which is just the video. I'll drag that in here, and then I'll cut back to the rest of the interview, which I can get right here. And I want the whole thing, so I'll use the I now, I and O keys, and there we go. Everything's in order the way I want it. So once you have that, you'll want to watch your intro and know where it exchanges. If you just drag a clip over, it'll line it up for you. You don't have to worry about getting things exact. It'll do that for you. And let's say right about here, at this point in the interview, I want to move to, you know, drumming. And now be careful because the audio, you can just hit Control Z to undo things. The audio of this covered up the audio of the interview, which I don't want. I'll want to drag this up, and I'll want to drag the audio down, just so that the audio of the drummers goes under the audio of the interview. And let's say I'll just put it right there. And now, if you were to play the interview,
love and enjoy, and those students have already been involved
it cuts
in
to
middle school
the drummers,
music, so it's not a huge change
and you
for
can
them.
still hear the interview. And then let's say by the end of the clip, I want to cut back to the interview.
It's a cool place that everybody can feel comfortable in.
I can just put it at the end.
It's a cool place that
Or if I don't want that much, I can choose my tools over here. You can really do this two ways. You could choose the razor tool and cut the B-roll so that, you know, I can just select the second half of it and delete it. Or I can have the mouse selected, and this red arrow that shows up, if you place it over the edge of a clip, you can click and hold and drag so that it shortens it, and it'll automatically line it up with a video. And then instead of having really long B-roll, I shortened it with the red tool or the razor tool, and all tools are located right here. The razor tool and the mouse tool are really the only tools that you'll need. These other tools are usually for special effects or transitions, which is not really needed in a news video, unless you're making a cinematic film. And it cuts right there. Now, you don't want your clips, you know,
those students have already been
instantly
involved
jumping
in middle school music, so it's not a huge
from clip to clip. You want things to be smooth. So what I'll do is I'll go to, in the same window where my videos are, I can go to Effects, and I have all sorts of things, and I want to go to Video Transitions, and the other ones are very complicated and make them too complex and flashy. All you want to do is just go to Dissolve. Cross Dissolve is the standard best one, I think. It's simple, and it just makes things smooth.
enjoy, and those students have already been involved in
And
middle
it just
school
slowly
music, so it's not a
progresses
huge.
instead of instantly cutting. And you want to not forget to put that at the end of it as well. And also, when you have an interview, not all of your videos will have interviews, but if you have an interview, you want to identify, even if you ask them their name and they say it on camera, you want to identify to the viewer who the person is. Let me redo that title, base it on the template. Okay, and lower thirds are what you want, so it appears in the lower third of the screen. Nothing flashy, something simple. Again, it's just you usually, yes, so you usually want something like this, not something that just has one title, because you'll usually want a subtitle. So this one with a title 1 and a title 2 usually works pretty well. And you can name what title 1 if you like. I'm going to name it J.R. Snow, because that is the person I'm interviewing. So it'll open a title window, and all you have to do is select your typing tool up on the left, and because it's a template, it makes all the boxes and things for you. All you have to do is highlight it, type in name, and in the lower one, I usually I make that their job or what they teach. So I'll just say band director for Mr. Snow. And usually, some titles it works and some it doesn't. You want a background to the text. This one, I think instead of adding a solid background to make it less bulky, I'll just change the color of the font, and I'll make it a solid red so that it shows up in this kind of background. This color will work fine. And then it doesn't seem to have any outline, and it seems to go away in the background. You can change the shadow outline right here. You'll have to check the shadow box right here, and usually you make that a fairly opposite color, and it makes it much easier to see if you outline it or give it a shadow. I'll do the same to the bottom. I'll make its solid color, or its font color, red, and I'll make its shadow color white, just so it's distinctive. And that's fairly small for a title, honestly. Again, you can just find font size on the right hand side and just click and drag it over. And these lines here are here for a reason. They're naturally like focal points for information. I wouldn't put text on the outside of the last line because usually it looks like it's cut off or not important. And I wouldn't put things out to the left. The boxes help very much to keep the focus on your text. And then again, I'll make this bigger as well. And you see, like, because I made the text bigger, it overlines the background sheen. I can just select my mouse tool to move an entire text box and move it up here. I can do the same with this, just to line everything up. Yeah, okay. If you'd like to change the font to something more appropriate for the scenery, you can select your text thing again, your text tool, and highlight your font. You can either go through an entire list of many different fonts, or you can go through a list of pre-colored standard fonts that are recognizable. I'll stick with the one that I have because I like it. And you don't have to save a title. All you have to do once you're done with it, all you have to do is X out of it, and it will be in your project viewer. As you can see, it's right here at the very bottom. Once you have your effect, it'll appear down here in this window, and all you want to do, just like any normal video, is drag it. And occasionally your effect will be too long. I'm just going to use the red tool again to shorten it to the length that I want. And I can't really precisely get it in there exactly where I want it. If you find that you can't do that either, and you want to change the size of these clips down here, there's a scroll bar, and all you have to do is drag it and make the scroll bar much smaller to make the videos larger. It's fairly simple. And then you have more leniency of where you want to put your videos. Okay. And between different clips that have audio, different clips of audio, you'll also want to add audio transitions, or else the video sounds choppy. So there are only a few audio transitions. You go to the effects window again, and you click on audio transitions and crossfade. And exponential fade is the only one I use. All it does is fade and then fade back in. to make it sound more fluent. And I usually do the same at the end of a video just to give it, I don't know, more closure and less choppy feeling. I do that, and I also do the same with the video. I also have it fade to black when I'm done instead of just, you can either cross dissolve, dip to black, either one, so that it looks fluent and not choppy. Now, once you've added all your effects, such as a title or transitions and audio transitions, you'll see this red bar, which means that those effects haven't been rendered entirely. And if you were to export your video, then they wouldn't come out well, or they wouldn't come out at all. So make sure that you don't have any of the red bars. And to render these effects, all you have to do is click on your timeline and go to Sequence, and just click Render Effects in, actually, a better idea, Render Entire Work Area. And once, you just have to wait for this to complete, and then everything is green. And then everything is green. And if your video is fluent, and you think it's done well, then all you have to do is export your video so that you can upload it. Because you can't upload it in an Adobe Premiere format. You have to upload it in a QuickTime or an AVI form. So to do that, all you have to do is click File and go to Export down at the bottom and choose Media. Output name, I'll just name it, I will put it on my flash drive, and I'll name it Tutorial again. For PCs, AVI is usually the form of video. On Macs or Apple products, it tends to be QuickTime, which is MP4. They're both compatible with each other, they're both compatible with YouTube, and they both work fine. It doesn't matter which one you use, just know that it has to be one of those. And then all you have to do is save and click export. Okay, and now that that's done, I can upload the video. So what you want to do is bring up your documents and go to your flash drive. As you can see, Tutorial right here at the bottom where I exported it. And then open up the internet. Type in the password. Sign in. Go to YouTube. And then you'll have to choose. Make sure you choose the one that the Newsstreak page that actually has videos. Okay, and then you'll click upload. And select files. I'll just go to my flash drive and select the video. Okay, now while this is uploading, I usually like to have a custom thumbnail for the videos that I make, just because it looks nicer rather than just a random screenshot of your video. So I already have that made. All you have to do while it's uploading is choose custom thumbnail down at the bottom, and I have one. It is up on my desktop. Okay, here it is. So choose Band-Aid thumbnail, open it. This is just a picture I took while recording my camera. Used Photoshop to add words. Once the processing is done, you'll want to give your video a title and a description. I don't really have a description to give for this video. Usually it'll say something like explore the HHS band hosts its first HHS band day this year. Something like that. And usually you'll add tags to it, such as Newsstreak, HHS, news, band, things like that. And then I've chosen my tag in my thumbnail, so I'll just publish. Okay, and my video has been published at this URL. So go there. And now you'll want to go to Newsstreak. Once this is done, go to the very bottom, click login. Once you are on WordPress, you will just go to Stories on the left-hand side, click New. Again, the title I'll just call Tutorial because this won't be up there for long. Description, again, just describe the video as you did in the YouTube video. Your name, my name is McDaniel, so job title, fill out your job title. Now the video embed code is not the URL. Don't try to use the URL because it doesn't work. You want to go to share and then go to embed, and that's what you want. So you copy it and then you can just paste in there. And video credit line, just your name again, and main stuff, you don't really need anything else. You'll go down to categories. You'll choose, if it's a news story, you'll choose news. Feature it, always. Video and multimedia. Those are the three you will always use. Tags, same as the YouTube video, Newsstreak, HHS, HHS band, things like that. And then to choose the featured image or the thumbnail, you click on Set Featured Image. Go to Upload Files. Now usually you have to reduce the resolution of a custom thumbnail because usually they're too high. You can do this on Photoshop. If you're doing the videos at home, I don't have Photoshop at home, all I have is Adobe Premiere. So what I use is software called View. Very simple. You just Google View. All you do is you upload the picture to it, and there's a you can go to picture properties and lower the resolution. It's very simple. That's the only reason I use it. You don't need any captions, just set the image once you have it. And there. If you want to preview before publishing, You can click the preview button on the right hand side. Just make sure. I won't actually publish this. I'll just show you the preview. And this is what it'll look like. And once you click on the link, it'll go straight to the YouTube and play it from there. Very simple.